So what we have to keep in mind when we are reading this poem, we are keeping in mind that this poem is in the form of a diary entry. Who is making the diary entry? A survivor of this atom bomb dropping is the poet, is the narrator, not the poet, the narrator. He is survivor and he is telling us the gruesome reality. So you have to write down the gruesome reality. Gruesome. Now you are going to ask me, ma'am, what is gruesome reality? So I am telling you, two things are happening at once in gruesome: hateful and frightening. That reality he is bringing to us. And beta, what other thing we have to keep in mind? We have to keep in mind the horrible scene we are going to read. What happened that particular day when the bomb was dropped. And that horrible reality is presented in a painful manner. In that manner, we are going to read it. Then, beta, there is one more thing that you know very well, that when this bomb was dropped, then they used a code language, code word for this bomb. They used to call this atomic bomb to be little boy. And that is, if they can ask you, then the code word for the bomb was the little boy. Now, in the title, there is written August 6, 1945. So this was the most horrific date in human history, because it shows so much of insensitivity of human beings for one another. Fine? Ha, beta. What one? Are you asking something?
Ma'am, please repeat the bomb name.
Little boy. They used to call it little boy. L capital and B capital.
Okay. Thank you.
And the whole of the Hiroshima became like a hell, which we are going to read. Now, let us read it, beta. And the rest of the things, the notes I will share with you next week, and then we will read from it for more explanation. Abhi, we are doing it from the book. So I have given you a doctor's journal entry. Journal means diary entry for August 6, 1945. This date symbolizes the most horrific date in human history. Vikram Seth is the poet. The morning stretched calm. Stretched means spread. The morning was very peaceful. Calm means very peaceful. Beautiful morning and warm, bright sunshine was there. Sprawling matlab beta, spreading out, lying down. Half clad means half dressed. In his night dress he was. I gazed out. The narrator, not the poet, the narrator gazed out. Gazed out matlab looked out at the form of shimmering leaves and shadows. It was a bright morning, beta. And when it was a bright morning, then obviously there were shimmering leaves. Shimmering means shining leaves and shadows. The shadow of the trees, the shadow of the plants were there. So it was a beautiful morning. It was shining everywhere, warm sunlight. Beta, just see how unpredictable life is, you know. Nobody could guess that what is going to happen just in a second. Suddenly, at once, a strong flash. And beta, a strong flash means a bright light. And that you know what happened actually. At that particular time, from the sky, beta, there was detonation of bomb. Detonation of bomb means the dropping of atom bomb. Then another. Then another means one more bright light was seen. So he did not know what is actually happening. He saw a bright light and then one more bright light. Startled me. Startled me means he was taken aback. He was surprised. I saw the old stone lantern brightly lit, and there was a stone torch, and it started burning itself. Why? Because there was atomic radiation. And that is why the lantern started burning on its own. That torch started burning on its own because of the atomic radiation. Magnesium flares. Beta question mark. Why question mark? Because the narrator is not confirmed. He is not confident exactly what happened. What kind of a light is this? Then he is making a guess. Is these are magnesium flares that he thought. Beta magnesium flare means a metal that burns with bright light, with bright flame. That is magnesium flares. So flares is flame. Is magnesium flare? Is that that metal which burns with such bright flame? Is it that? While I debated means he was talking to himself. He was just thinking. He was just arguing within himself that what has brought that bright light in the sky. Why the lantern was burning on its own? He was just guessing it. The roof, the walls, and as it seemed matlab looked, the world collapsed in timber and debris. All of a sudden, beta, all of a sudden, his house collapsed. तो उसने ये नहीं बोला मेरा घर गिर गया, वो कहता है, oh, all of a sudden the walls fell down, the roof fell down. He was shocked at what happened, and everything was happening so speedily, there was no time to think. So, beta, he says the roof, the walls, and it seemed the world collapsed. Collapsed means fell down. In timber and debris. Timber, wood. और जापान में बेटा घर जो हैं वो उसी के होते हैं. जापानी तो है हिरोशिमा, लकड़ी के. And debris beta, wreckage, the destroyed material was all around. So fast it happened. Darsh, what are you asking, beta?
Mom, I was asking about the magnesium flare.
Ha, magnesium flares. Flares you write down, beta, flame. And for magnesium, you write down a metal that burns with bright light. Okay? These are those elements which can be burned to give light. That is. ये कोई मैग्नीशियम फ्लेयर है क्या जो ऊपर आसमान में मुझे दिखाई दिया? वॉर तो चल ही रही थी, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर का बात है, आपको पता है सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में एटॉमिक बम डिटोन किया था. और बेटा डस्ट swirled मतलब मूव्ड सर्कुलर, and there was the dust. इतना बेटा जब दीवार पूरा दीवार गिर गया, घर गिर गया, बच कैसे गए वो? टिम्बर का बना हुआ है, खुद ही वो कह रहे हैं बेटा. और उसको कहता है बेटा हाइपरबोल. he thought that everything is falling down, the world fell down around me. बेटा देखो छोटा सा डैश दिया है, फिर लिखा है इन द गार्डन नाउ, फिर डैश दिया है बेटा. इसका मतलब क्या है? पॉज. और मेरे चारों तरफ अभी तो घर था, अब क्या है? घर तो खत्म, मैं कहाँ हूँ? गार्डन में. गार्डन में कैसे चला गया? गार्डन में कहीं गया नहीं है बेटा. जब घर गिर जाएगा तो फिर तो चारों तरफ गार्डन ही गार्डन है ना. हमारा घर घर कब तक रहता है? जब तक दीवार और छत है. ये हट जाए तो फिर तो हम बाहर ही आ गए ना. तो जब वो टूट गया तो उसको लगता है चारों तरफ नाउ ही इज इन द गार्डन, सो ही डिड नॉट गो एनीवेयर, ही वाज सिटिंग देयर. पर सब कुछ गिर गया उसके ऊपर. In the garden now, and we read. Beta, we read means strange, frightening. My drawers and undershirt disappeared. Beta, that atomic radiation brought the temperature so high that they just burnt themselves. And how they burnt? देखो अगर आग लगती है तो पहले कपड़े जलते हैं, फिर हम जलते हैं. और यहाँ बेटा वो एटॉमिक रेडिएशन से इतना टेम्परेचर हाई था कि इन अ सेकेंड ये सारे के सारे जल गए कपड़े. मतलब ये पूरी बॉडी जल गई और बॉडी पे कुछ नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है सिवाय वो राख है बेटा. So he says that my drawers, that is the half pants, the underpants and undershirt disappear. वो जैसे नाइट ड्रेस में अपना था, वो पूरा का पूरा कपड़े तो दिख ही नहीं रहे, द बर्न्ट बॉडी वाज देयर, द बर्न्ट बॉडी। तो कपड़े क्या जल गए, और जल के वो पूरा स्टिक हो गए, स्किन भी जल गया है, ये हालत हुई है बेटा, इतना हाई टेम्परेचर हो गया। अ स्प्लिंटर, और बेटा ऐसे में एक स्प्लिंटर, स्प्लिंटर का मतलब लिखो द शार्प पीस ऑफ ग्लास, वो कांच का बेटा एक शार्प पीस, स्प्लिंटर लकड़ी का भी हो सकता है, शार्प पीस को बोलते हैं स्प्लिंटर। जटेड का मतलब कमिंग आउट फ्रॉम माई मैंगल्ड थाई, अब बेटा सारी चीजें गिरी तो उसके थाई के ऊपर, वो घुटनों के ऊपर इतना शार्प जो था बेटा, एक टुकड़ा वो फंस गया पूरी तरीके से। तो बेटा क्या लिखा हुआ है देखो तो, मैंगल्ड थाई, मैंगल्ड मतलब क्रश्ड थाई। और यहां से हम पढ़ेंगे, नोट्स में तुम्हारे साथ शेयर करूंगी, नेक्स्ट वीक मिलते हैं।